Welcome to My Money Mindset podcast, where we explore how a healthy mindset is the foundation for financial success. Each week, we delve into mindset hacks and practical strategies to help you enhance your income, help you make more appropriate investments for yourself, and to improve your overall financial well-being. Join us on this journey to transform your financial future by transforming your mindset. Please note that the information provided on this podcast is for general information purposes only and does not constitute as personal, financial or health advice. It has been prepared without considering your individual objectives, financial situation or life needs. Before making any financial or health decisions, you should consult with a qualified professional or financial advisor to ensure the information aligns with your specific circumstances. So let's begin and enjoy this journey as each episode teaches us on how to improve our overall mindset that it overall improves our financial success. Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Money Mindset. Today I'm going to be speaking about business coaching or entrepreneurial business coaching. So depending, there's not much difference in either. Entrepreneurial is probably more of a broader sense in a person's personality traits, what endeavors to get them sort of become entrepreneurs, is in business, investment, that sort of stuff. Business coaching is probably more specific to the business. So either way, you're probably going to delve into the deeper parts of it more than just the out of sort of components of operating a business or becoming an entrepreneur. So it's more in the mindset of a business owner, what to look out for, what traits to try and sort of accompany yourself with, and sort of behavioural traits, all that sort of stuff to help you succeed in business and a lot faster, to get to the success a lot faster. So it can also be used, it's normally when I train a lot of business coaches as well, and those of you who are a business coach, in the same sort of sense, these traits and this episode, and I'll do a few of these episodes to sort of get nitty-gritty with a lot of the different terminologies and behavioural traits, how to implement them, the practices, what one should do on a day-to-day basis, simply because a lot of these traits can be sort of inherited from a business perspective. So if you're a business owner or you own multiple businesses or a bit of an entrepreneur brain, you could also take this episode and use it to your advantages, just like a business coach as well. But with a business coach, they obviously want to be training other business owners as well, and what to look out for. And these points will help either or all of you, hopefully. And also with this, just to add on, those of you who aren't business owners that are looking to invest in property or shares or anything like that, Bitcoin, I always say that these behavioral traits or money mindset traits are probably something that, even if you're a career orientated person and you want to sort of escalate upon your career and jump up the wage and sort of start paying yourself a lot more and being employed by companies that you'd prefer to be employed by, a personal growth factor. That's what I'm sort of trying to get to here. If you're a driven person, motivated person to better your life in somewhat, either financially, even including just for yourself, and feel better about yourself, then this is probably the episode and episodes in the future which are going to help, along with the podcast, of course. So what I wanted to sort of start from is sort of as a business owner or anyone that's looking to sort of grow in life has a lot of these they've got a lot of prohibitions about what they wanted to do with their life, and are they making the right decision. So what I want to do is break this down, and I sort of want to break it down. Decision making is probably the one that I want to talk about when it comes to, on this episode, as in when it comes to decision making, what we've got to look out for. So in the next episodes, just a quick recap, I want to discuss decision making on this one, probably relationships on the next, bankruptcy on the following, litigation, all that, cash flow and tax, identity or purpose of what you're doing, where you want to be with everything in your future, and also the banking and financing. So sort of just a futuring, structure, investment, all that sort of stuff. But decision making in this episode, what I really want to sort of bring to your attention when it comes to decision making, it's very hard. We always second guess ourselves. I mean, we're probably our own best critic when it comes to sort of taking the negative concept. A lot of those of you that are looking to start a business or operate a business, even a career, will always second guess. when you own a business on yourself, quite often you'll find that a lot of the time it feels comforting to have a partner in business, especially when you're starting out, because a partner enables you to sort of bounce ideas around, and when you second guess yourself, they're great to sort of bring back. I did an episode way back a while ago in relation to this, and that'd be a good one to listen to. But the fear of failure, what I wanted to talk about here is when we make a decision, the fear of failure is something that sort of crosses everyone's mind, and you've got two sorts of different types of people that they say they either run with their decision or they actually procrastinate, and they stop and they start to think about what are they doing, are they the right thing, and this could mean a small thing to the next best thing when it comes to your business or career. Fear of failure, how do you get over it? Well, it's an anxiety that, everything must be always 100% successful, or even that, majority of you're always scared that you're going to make a wrong decision, or it may not be for every decision, but some of the critical ones, when you have that anxiety of going, if I don't succeed here, like what are the repercussions? Now, a lot of the time in our logical mind, we try and qualify what are the repercussions. We sort of talk ourselves out of it. What I probably would always sort to do, and it depends on the nature of what you're trying to do with the decision, but would be to try and identify what it is that you're trying to work out. And then if you do second or third guess yourself, that sort of break that negative concept out of it. There's nothing wrong with being negative, because negative protects you from a lot of instances, right, of making that wrong decision to confirm and move forward. But just make sure that your fear of failure is within the 50% scale. You're not too overconfident, but that you're not really reluctant. You're not sitting on the fence. Now, it sounds like at a 50% you're sitting on the fence, but you're not. What it does, it enables you time to sort of, if you make a decision upon something, or you're second guessing that decision or that which way to move forward in anything it is, even when it comes to investment, break it down into a point where you can actually, and time gives us this option, right, to break it down. What you can think of in the morning sometimes changes throughout the day, and then you rethink, gee whiz, what was I thinking this morning, or you think about this the following day and think, oh, what was I thinking? Sometimes the decisions do take time for you to feel comfortable with, and as I always say, those of you that know me, use your gut instinct, listen to it, just don't go sort of along with your gut instinct all the time. A lot of the people that sort of starting out will have more of a negative connotation to say, oh, look, my gut tells me this. I'm always negative type of thing. Or you got to be self-honest with yourself, right, before you say this to yourself. But you got to be honest and say, am I always negative, or do I really have a good appetite for making decisions? Now, I would also encourage you to speak to a lot of people that you do trust and sort of bounce the idea around. Once again, this is for important decisions, yeah? So bounce the idea. It doesn't mean you've got to go speak to someone every time you want to make a decision, but it means that you're actually pressure testing yourself into going to the next phase, or the next investment, or the next career, or the next duty in your line of work, that sort of thing. Fear of failure, like I say, some of these things are really personality specific. So I'm happy to always, like I say, I do a lot of the business coaches, so I'm happy to chat about specific things. We don't have to go on about it or anything like that, but just to identify certain things, I'm always happy to help. Now, the fear of failure is one thing, but then you've also got the fear of success. Believe it or not, our fear of success is probably the one that I probably can remember many, many years ago, where you sort of say, well, if I am successful, what do I do with it? What do I do? And then once I've achieved what I'm looking to do, how do I maintain it? How do I manage it? And that is an actual anxiety, and that can sometimes sort of distract you from going above and beyond. Those of you that sort of resonate with this will always understand to say, well, yeah, I'm okay. Acquisition is one thing, but how do I manage it once I acquire it, type of thing. So, look, the worry that success will bring more responsibility, pressure, it sort of increases the attention that you receive, all that sort of stuff. How do I deal with that? And that is actually it can sometimes be really inhibiting to your success, because you're forever worrying about what to do before you even get successful. So going back to the fear of failure, of the anxiety of, am I making the right decision type of thing? I fear that I'm going to fail here. The other thing is, what do I do if I am successful? And all of a sudden, you can see where this is going. There are too many negative connotations preventing you from moving forward. And I didn't say preventing you from being successful, but it's preventing you from moving forward. Now, where is forward? Well, only you know that. So identify, is it a fear of success? Subconsciously, this often happens, is the fear of success. On a conscious level, the fear of failure is there because you basically say, look, if I turn left instead of right and I fail this, well, X, Y, Z is going to happen, and the logical brain sinks in. But when it comes to the fear of success, we all go, no, I'm not scared of that. But deep down, some of us sort of think, what am I going to do? And that also is with planning to buy an investment, a home, whatever that may be. What do I do when I got it? Because I've never really been in that sort of next phase of my life of acquiring this. So that is one thing. Now, the other thing is the fear of being judged, the need for approval, and the fear that others will judge you or discover your flaws. Now, this sort of happens when people are really uptight about themselves and what they feel as though, look, I've got this certain stature about myself in a social sense. But if people see that I'm sort of breaking the mold of myself and I'm not successful at it, what are they going to think of me? Now, realistically, guys, to me, when it comes to things about social adherence and making people want to like you, I always believe that it doesn't matter if you go left, right, or up or down, or whatever that may be, and you're growing yourself as a person. Those are those that don't stick around just because you have failed, or those of you that don't stick around because they don't like who you become or anything like that, were never meant to be around you anyway. This is your journey. It's not everyone else's journey. Always remember that. So I think that's a pretty valid point to sort of identify the fear of being judged. Don't worry about it, guys. Now, it's easy for me to do that because quite often, every time I do make a decision or advance into a next chapter in my life or break the mold or do what I've got to do, I don't really care about what people think in a sense to say, well, I don't like what you do. Now, the reason why that is because when it's a one-on-one or one-on-two or whatever that may be, and I'm engaging with that particular person that may be judging me, I'd always have a chat and sort of, iron out anything there. And if, nothing prevails of that, well, it is what it is, but I'm definitely getting on with my journey. So those of you that are fearing being judged, sort of don't really worry about it. Number 4, and it is the fear of emotional pain. So the instinct to avoid potential negative consequences or actions from your interactions, which sort of assimilates to that of fear of being judged. So the fear of emotional pain means that if you are going to fail, or the next move is a failure, and then you sort of think, well, hey, how am I going to deal with that pain? Because I'm already getting over another pain or whatever that may be. How am I going to cope with that pain all on my own? Best way to do this is to sort of try and understand yourself as without this movement, you know that you're probably never going to change. And I quite often say, if you want change, you need to change. If you want to break the mold, if you're in a career or you're in a job or you want to leave that job or you've got a business that you'd love to sell and do something else or whatever that may be, don't sort of, if you fail at it or the decision doesn't come off as good as what you originally thought, quite often you straight away will go, how am I going to deal with the pain? How am I going to deal with the failure? That sort of thing. It starts to manifest in your mind, and that's probably the worst thing to do, is already worry about that you've failed, because you're probably going to manifest the fact that you are going to fail if you're already thinking about how you're going to cultivate those negative thoughts in your mind. So try and avoid that, guys. Now, the fear of abandonment or rejection, sort of a desire to be included and the pain of being turned down, leading to playing it safe. If you want change, you need to change. This resonates massively with this. If you fear of abandonment or rejection, and the desire to be included is always in your sort of lifestyle, so if you're one to always come across as the one to always be liked, or sort of stay within that medium that you hope everyone likes you, it sort of resonates to the fear of being judged. Guys, honestly, once again, it's a social thing. Those of you that fear this, and the people that you hang with, if you really think that they're going to leave you or no longer be in your life, they probably weren't meant to be in your life anyway, because this is you coming out of your shell. You've got to remember that what I'm talking about here is something that you want. this is something you desire, or you want to create yourself a better person. A lot of you can sit around and always talk about how your upbringing brought you down, or you never were blessed with support or anything like this. Now, this is more about those of you that identify this, and you can know that you can do better. You just don't know because you haven't been equipped with the knowledge, but you know that you can do better. You know you can get into investing. You know you can grow your investment portfolio. You know you can get into business. You know you're doing a great job at your career. But how do I go on? Now, I really do say that the fear of abandonment or rejection is something that you sort of got to address straight away. Don't worry what other people think, in a sense, to say, do what makes you happy and grow to the next level of your career or investment or whatever it may be, right? So once again, it all comes down to social aspects. If you're confident with yourself and you believe in yourself, so too will other people. The right ones, anyway, that's for sure. The fear of unknown is another one, a fundamental fear of uncertainty and what lies ahead. Once again, that resonates with the fear of success. We don't know, once we acquire something, we don't know if we can handle it. The next one is the fear of making the wrong decision, which is pretty much as what, I don't know, those of you would have heard the phrase analysis paralysis. So basically things, well, if I go left, if I go right, if I go here, you procrastinate, you don't make a decision, break that decision down. If you can sort of mind map your decision and sort of, from the what you're actually trying to work out, draw out a mind map and sort of let those branches go to what you think would work out. Mind mapping is a very good trait to sort of begin doing, especially when you're in business or trying to work your career out and there's no one else to banter. Like I say, you're the only one that knows yourself best in this. Now, the fear of financial instability, this is a massive killer. This is where I step in quite a lot of time. I've got a great idea. I just don't know how to get it off the ground. Time, literally. Time is your best friend here. Now, lack of time or abundance of time doesn't really matter. What it does matter is it's simply the timing. And I often use the analogy of a motor vehicle. Those of you who know it, timing is everything in a motor vehicle. You can have 1,000 horsepower, but if it's not timed right, it's not going anywhere. Timing, in a sense, to say cooking, anything you do in life, timing is everything. So the fear of financial instability, guys, maybe you're biting too much off that you can chew, as they say. Maybe you're not biting off enough. Analyze it. Once again, draw a mind map and sort of break it down. For entrepreneurial business directors, the risk of losing financial security is a massive thing. And it doesn't matter whether you're starting out in business or you're running a massive corporation. These little fears inside of you need to get addressed. Once again, I can help you with that. But if you are sort of, you're pretty confident that you can sort of handle yourself, start mind mapping this out for yourself. Now, the last one is the fear of loss of autonomy. And that's, look, the anxiety of losing one's freedom to make choices and control one's destiny. So when you fear the loss of autonomy, it's sort of, you're sort of overthinking yourself. You're over-engineering in a lot of sense. And when you start off as an entrepreneur or a business owner, or you've got a great idea, or you can bring something forward to the team in the company that you're working for, sometimes we over-engineer stuff to the point where we go, well, what am I going to do then? If it turns out okay, I won't know what to do with myself, so to speak. It means that the anxiety of losing one's freedom to make that choice is something that sort of, if you don't have that freedom of thinking, then you're going to lose the control of your own destiny type of thing. You become a bit of a robot or a puppet type of thing. Believe in me, the best thing to do here is always retain a sense of self-knowledge, open-mindedness, meditation, that sort of stuff. Health-wise, always identify who is me type of thing. What am I doing? Why am I waking up and getting out of bed? If you're finding that you're getting out of bed and it's not really making you happy, well, you need to address that quick sticks. Then you progress to the next level. If I'm getting out of bed, I love what I'm doing, but I could improve on it. This is where it's going to help you guys. So once again, happy to help with any of these. Now, I'll end this episode here, but there's going to be a massive amount of other episodes moving forward in relation to entrepreneurial and business coaching or helping people with investments, career coaching, all that. This one was all about decision making and how it can lead to a lot of problems. But in the following episodes, I'll probably go on to more about relationships, bankruptcy, and so on and so forth, and break it down that way so it's more manageable and sort of you can start to implement in your everyday life through listening to each episode. So let me know if you've got any questions or anything like that. I'm always happy to help in that, as you know, and look forward to speaking to you on the next episode. And have a great week ahead, guys, and all the best. See you, and thanks for listening.